So welcome to our 80th anniversary kickoff. So for those of us joining us this morning for the first time, I'm Pam Gregory, President and CEO of your local United Way. Thanks to everyone for being here on this beautiful morning. If you were here for us for our 75th, also here on this beautiful campus just 5 short years ago, you'll recall we did a little bit of a history lesson and talked a little bit about the journey of our 75 years. We're going to touch on that a little bit throughout this coming year, but today we're here to really usher in our 80th and focus on a stronger future for our neighbors. We've got a full program, but first, as you know, I always have a few housekeeping items. So please take a moment to silence your cell phones, please, but do keep snapping and sharing those photos and help spread the word by tagging us and using our new hashtag this year, United Way Begins With You. And UWLES. I hope you got some good pics or videos over at our fun green wall, but if you didn't, you can certainly stop by later and get those. But if you get them, please share them online with us and tag us. Speaking of photos, anybody notice that ginormous sign out front? Couldn't quite miss it, could you? I love it, it's so fun. It makes me feel like I'm 8, not 80. But one really cool thing is that after this event, we're going to be doing a huge group shot. So as soon as we dismiss at the end, if everybody would just join us right out there on the lawn, right in front of that sign, we're going to have a nice big picture to celebrate our 80th. And we promise to make it quick, so don't worry about it. Restrooms are located just out the hallway to your right, and then make another right down that hallway if you need them. And the entrance doors to these buildings will be locked again at about 8:50. So if you need to exit, please just grab someone or a student from our registration desk, and they can just let you back in if you need to run to your car or something. The Wi-Fi login information for playing along on your phones with our Poll Everywhere is at the bottom of your program, right near the SU logo, I believe. And you can join through the smartphone by text or your browser, all the different ways, or just scan that QR code. It'll come right up in your browser as well. We have a handful of polling questions we'll get interactive with today. So one thing that I want to share is that this has been a really amazing opportunity for us to continue to have this event here. And I just can't thank Dr. LaPree and the team and all of the teams here at Salisbury University for this continued partnership and just the high level of quality service and attention that they give this event each year. You make it very easy on us, and it's a heavy lift, and we really, really appreciate it. Everybody does an amazing job. Thanks and special thanks to the facilities and the technology teams, along with Kelly and Dining Services. How's your breakfast this morning? Is it good? Yeah, they always do a great job. And no doubt we would not be sitting here without the work of the incredible staff who don't hesitate when it's time to get all hands on deck, believe me. I am beyond blessed to work with this really great team and witness the passion that they put into the work that we do every single day, and the partners and all of the donors and volunteers we get to work with. So if our team, they're scattered around the room a little bit, but if our team could stand real quick, I would just like to thank you very much. So in the back are my friends from Pack 14, Tom and Chris, always with us. Hey guys. They'll make sure that for your viewing pleasure, you can see this anytime you want online. But Chris has also helped us create a couple really fun videos already this new campaign season. And in case you haven't picked up on our not so subtle clues, maybe this will help.
United Way begins with you. 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 United Way begins with you.
So that's a fun little snippet to talk a little bit about our, Chris did a great job with that. Talk about our theme for this year, United Way Begins With You. So I am going to please welcome our board's vice chair, Mary Mangeson, and she's going to share a brief reflection followed by our pledge.
Good morning. United Way begins with you. For 80 years, you have helped us come together as a community to address the most pressing challenges in education, financial stability, and health. United Way's impact is measured in the lives changed, the families supported, and the communities strengthened. But none of this would happen without your support, passion, and commitment to helping others. Your donation, your volunteer hours, and your efforts to help someone in need drive the United Way's mission forward. Your involvement makes this possible. It's about more than charity, it's about creating lasting change. Every time you contribute, you're helping to build a stronger, more resilient community. As we reflect on 80 years of incredible impact, remember that the power to make a difference begins with you. We're using the you theme a lot. So let's begin the rest of our morning together, getting on our feet. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's now my pleasure to welcome Dr. Lynn Laprie, President of Salisbury University, for some welcoming remarks, followed by another fun piece by the pep band. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It is such a pleasure to have you all here with us today, and I appreciate you being here on our beautiful campus. It is a pleasure, as always, to welcome you to Salisbury University, and we are always pleased to be able to host the United Way's annual kickoff on our campus. This event marks not only the beginning of another year of impactful work, but also a celebration of the collaboration between our university and the community that we serve. One of the aspects that I cherish the most about SU is the strong partnerships that we've built with local organizations and initiatives. And it's something that over the past 2.5 years that I've been serving as president, I've seen in living color, and today is no different. These partnerships enrich our students' experiences and create meaningful connections that create all sorts of opportunities for our students that extend them out beyond the classroom. And that's a really exciting thing for anyone who works in education. Together, we can address the unique challenges that our community faces and work towards solutions that enhance the quality of life for everyone. The United Way stands as a vital anchor in our region, empowering the Lower Eastern Shore to improve health, education, and financial stability for all of our residents. Their commitment to fostering a thriving community resonates deeply with our mission at Salisbury University. And I am truly proud that you continue to choose our campus as the venue for this significant event, where we can unite our efforts and energize our shared vision for the year ahead. One of the reasons I'm especially glad to be here with you today is the incredible engagement that this organization fosters with our students, one of the things that's most important and near and dear to my heart, and really everyone at Salisbury University's hearts. The United Way's initiatives provide our students with invaluable opportunities to connect with real-world challenges and to develop the skills that they need to be effective leaders and compassionate citizens. As educators, we have the responsibility to equip our students for the complexities of today's society, something that maybe we can all agree is getting more and more complex by the day. This preparation extends well beyond textbooks and lectures. It's about helping them understand the world around them and the diverse perspectives that exist and the impact that they can indeed make on their communities. The Student United Way at Salisbury University plays a crucial role in this mission. I've been consistently inspired by the initiatives that they've taken on, work that not only benefits those in need, but cultivates a sense of responsibility and purpose within our student body. So as we kick off the new year, I am eager to see how we can build on these efforts and continue to make a lasting impact within our community. I look forward to seeing you all back on campus, I hope, on March 27th and 28th for the annual Lower Shore Nonprofit Summit, which is hosted by SU's Institute for Public Affairs and Civic Engagement, the United Way, and the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore. Together, we have the opportunity to inspire change and to uplift those who are struggling and to create a culture of support and collaboration. So I thank you all once again for being here today, and I look forward to another fruitful year of collaboration and impact. And now it is indeed my pleasure to be able to welcome back for another performance the beautiful new Salisbury University Pep Band.
That was fantastic. I think you guys are definitely putting the pep in our step today. I love it. All right, so I know most of the students have to get back to some classes or get to their day of classes, so if you would please join me in another round of applause to thank them. Great job, y'all. I can't wait to see you on the field. All right, let's do a quick test poll and get a sense of who we have in the room today. You know, there's often very strong opinions about this one, so it might be a polarizing question. Sorry, my team knows I hate my puns. But let's give it a shot. All right, you'll see it pop up on your phone in a sec, and let's just select your best answer. Oh, who is your football team of choice? I know, this is a dangerous question here. Oh my, look at the Ravens go. Huh, I thought we had more Steelers fans in the room. I see some people still trying to scan, so we're going to give it a sec. Well, it does look like we have more Ravens in the room. Uh-oh. All right, cool beans. Thanks for participating. All right, we will have another poll in just a little bit, but if you had any issues, there is a sheet with those same directions right inside your folder, so please feel free to check that out for some additional guidance. So I want to take a moment for a couple special recognitions. I'd like to welcome two colleagues from United Way Worldwide, John Farden, Executive Vice President of Global Network Advancement and Operations, and John Emge, Senior Director, Network Engagement and Performance for both the Northeast and Southeast regions. And he's the one who has to put up with me most of the time. They are both great leaders and have helped our network members through challenges and also some pretty exciting changes that are underway. Thank you both for your leadership, for making the drive and supporting us today. I appreciate it. I believe we also have a couple of our elected officials with us today as well, and so just to make sure I don't miss anyone and in the interest of time, if they would please stand. No, we had, hey, thank you, Julie. And I don't think any business can make it 80 years on their own, and for us, this couldn't be more true. We're very fortunate to have a few long-term corporate partners, in fact, going all the way back to our roots here in Wicomico County. Going well beyond a traditional campaign or annual sponsorships, they empower their employees to step up with volunteering and advocacy and so much more. First, I've got Avery Hall and First Shore Federal to thank. Several founders of both of these companies also helped start our United Way when it was a community chest back in 1944. So we share founders, which is really, really cool. And they've been alongside us ever since, 80 years strong. Thank you all very, very much. Also, Purdue Farms. Since at least the mid-'60s, as far back as our records would go, Purdue has been a strong force for United Way in our community, and that now extends well across the country where other associates live, work, and play too. And they're so supportive of their associates plugging in with their local United Way and other community things in their communities that those associates are excited about. We thank you so much for the partnership, the never-ending support, and the advocacy you have for our mission. And our collaborative and nonprofit partners are wide-ranging as well, and together we continue to raise the bar on taking impact to scale. And so I just want to give a shout out, they were mentioned earlier, but thank you to Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, Erica and your team, PACE here at Salisbury University, and also our friends at Tidal Health. We've got some really great collaborations happening, and we can't do it alone, so it's really awesome to be through these journeys with you. And by partnering and supporting the nonprofit sector, we've created stronger communities here across the shore. Beyond the financial investments made possible through our donors, fostering connections, providing capacity building tools and training, and advocating for their work is part of being a good partner. And you can see a list of our current partners, hopefully you can read that all right, on the screen. And I'm not saying there's a quiz on this, but hopefully you can read it, because they all do really, really great work. Some have been partners for years, and a few are new to us. And many of our partners are here today, and I'd like any of the representatives from our partners to stand. Awesome. They're helping children reach their potential, empowering families to become financially secure, ensuring seniors are lovingly cared for, and shining a light for hope for neighbors in crisis. We're honored to work alongside each of you. Thanks so much for all you do and your support of our partnership too. All right, so well, maybe there is a little quiz. Let's see who was paying attention. Here comes our next poll. Can you name one of our partner agencies? Your pick, or you can name more than one. Just type it in. Here it comes. Nice, one of our new ones, Cricket. MAC, Area Agency on Aging, for those that may not know. Diakonia over in Worcester County. Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Keep them coming. Dove Point. If you ever need a venue space, Dove Point has it. Maryland Food Bank, excellent. Hospice again, absolutely. They're rolling out a new palliative care program. Village of Hope, amazing empowerment for women in our community. Habitat, Dove Point, awesome. That's fantastic. Yes, the EPOC. Well, I hope you'll take some time to follow us on socials, check out our website, the materials in your packet. We've got close to 40 partners who receive financial support and capacity building support, and so they're all doing great work, and I hope you familiarize yourself more with them, and please call us anytime if you have questions. So please help me welcome now our board chair, Ms. Sonia Whited, to share a few remarks on behalf of our board.
See these smiling faces. I had 3 hours of sleep last night, so from vacation though, so that's why the big smile. But but thank you, Pam, and hello everyone. On behalf of the United Way Board of Directors, I also share a big thank you to Salisbury University and to all of you for joining us today to kick off our 80th anniversary. I offer a special thank you to the agencies with us today, who already stood up, but also for your partnership. And a number of years ago, when I became engaged in United Way, my first formal role was on the Community Impact Committee. And if you're not aware, this is the group of volunteers who work with staff to review annual partner applications and make annual funding recommendations for the board to approve. I've always said that this experience is the reason I became a longtime United Way volunteer and supporter, and that actually is really, really true. I was very sad. I think, how long are the terms? It's like 3 years and it's 4? Right, and that's what I did. So that year that I had to take off, I was like heartbroken. But our United Way's process of considering annual partners goes well beyond just reading an application. It's an opportunity to visit with the organizations and have open conversations to understand the challenges and the triumphs of their work and learn how they respond to the evolving needs in our community. We hear the stories of impact from their staff, their volunteers, as well as their clients, which helps us gain a deeper appreciation of how United Way's financial and other capacity building investments help strengthen our community through these partnerships. I appreciate and respect the work that they do and look forward to this committee work each year when I participate. I'm also excited to be here on behalf of our Board of Directors, as I start my second year as chair. I'd like to recognize the board, and any board members that are in here, please stand. I saw some. And you can see them on screen as well. So, as well as I am really, really privileged and pleased to be able to take advantage of the work of some of our previous board chairs and to recognize our advisory council members. I think here for maybe the first time? Yeah, for the first time. They're also now on screen. And I ask that they please stand as well. I know a couple. I don't know if they recognize that. It took you a minute to stand up. That was pretty funny. But Mary and I set a theme for our board year, which is community, unity all in caps, 80 years of building bridges and creating change. This speaks to us in a number of ways and reminds us of our grassroots starts here in Wicomico County in 1944, when 5 local community leaders joined together to build their own bridges of change and empower neighbors to give back during a very challenging time in history. A lot has certainly happened in our 80 years, and even since we highlighted our last milestones of 75. So fast forward 5 years, and as Pam likes to say, it's been all the things. As we've experienced countless changes at home, work, and simply in everyday life. The challenges of today for children and teachers in the classroom, our employers working to retain a qualified workforce, the rise in mental health needs, and the countless households like Alice we're learning more about every day, struggling with affordable housing, food insecurity, childcare, and caregiving are magnified. So building a resilient community is even more important than ever. Our focus remains steadfast to keep building those bridges and creating change for all neighbors to have better health and wellness, youth have what they need to succeed, and families are empowered to achieve financial security. So thank you all so much for supporting this work, and for those joining us for the first time, invite you to get involved. Our founders knew that it all began with them stepping up, and today it's still up to each of us joining together, because United Way begins with me, and what am I going to say? You. Yeah, I love that. Okay. So I know I have one more thing that I'm supposed to say, but I did this last year, and those that know me know it's coming. What do I have in my hands? Come on. All right. I need my selfie. Yes. That was beautiful. Say 1, 2, 3. United Way begins with you. United Way begins with you. Thank you. I love it. I love it. Okay. So it's now my pleasure to get back to the script and welcome John Farden from United Way Worldwide. John is the Executive Vice President of Global Network Advancement and Operations. And John, thanks so much for joining us as we are celebrating our 80th year. Thank you.
Thank you. I am so sorry that the pep band is gone. I wanted them to play me up on the stage here. I was in the marching band all 4 years that I was in high school, and played in the pep band at Cornell University, and we played all the classics from John Philip Sousa to Aaron Copland to, of course, Gary Glitter, rock and roll number 2. And today I added another one to the canon, which is Bruno Mars. Who knew how good it would sound coming from a pep band? So really excited to be here today, and thanks to Pam for including me, and thanks to Lynn for hosting us here at Salisbury University. And congrats to everyone on your 80th anniversary. It's really exciting. I've been on the job at United Way for about 18 months, and I love the United Way. It really is a place where I've wanted to work for a very long time. And one of the best parts about my role is getting to come out and visit with local United Way leaders. We are an amazing network. We are, I always say our superpower is that we are a local organization, right? In every community and in 1,000 different places across the United States and 36 other countries around the world, meeting the unique community needs. Sonia, as you were talking about, the craziness of the last 5 years, I'm sure Pam and her team, as great leaders here, had a strategic plan. I'm willing to bet that a pandemic response was not a part of that strategic plan. Yet, United Way here in the Lower Eastern Shore and all United Ways all across the country stepped up and around the world and responded to that emergency and to the evolving community needs. And we do that during times like COVID, but we do it every day, right? And really responding to those unique community needs. And that's the superpower of the United Way. We have been, I know you're all celebrating your 80th anniversary. The United Way Network has been around for about 135 years, right? And I take the stewardship of that legacy very seriously in my role. One of the quotes that actually my boss, Angela Williams, who I'm proud to be here representing today, shared at our global conference was a quote from Dr. King that talked about we are inheritors of a world house, right? And it really, I think a lot of times feels that way, and I think we all take that responsibility very seriously at United Way, that this is an organization that has been here long before any of us were a part of it, and will be here, we all hope, long after we're all gone, right, and still meeting community needs. But our house, like any house built more than 100 years ago, needs occasional renovations, right? And so at United Way Worldwide, we're really thinking very seriously about what the next century of service is going to look like for United Way, and we know it has to be different. And we know it has to build upon our legacy of being an organization that has deep roots in community, but we also need to leverage the power of our network in new and different ways. And we're really fortunate to have leaders like Pam who have been a part of that transformation and really have been leaning in with us as partners as we think about the path forward. I will say, as we think about the challenges that we face, we really have talked about it in 3 categories. We've talked about how do we ensure that we are impactful, relevant, and sustainable for another century of service. And so I want to talk a little bit about each of those areas, but again, I really want to highlight how United Way of the Lower Eastern Shore has been a great partner in that work. So first on impact. You know, again, impact for the United Way happens at the community level. It's the work that all of you are doing, Pam and her team are doing every day with your agency partners here in community. We know that listening to our communities and understanding their challenges is key, and they've been doing that for a long time here. We know that being really strategic about what kinds of organizations we invest in, ensuring that they're having an impact in the community is important, and that's another principle of the way that Lower Eastern Shore is thinking about their allocation process. But we also know that there are needs that are unmet, and our United Ways can meet those needs. So Dolly Parton Imagination Library, the work that hopefully you all saw, the beautiful artwork in the hallway that was done by local high school students to help bring awareness to substance abuse challenges. The work that the Women United group is doing, engaging with volunteers as tutors and mentors. All great examples of having a local impact. And we really appreciate that. We also have a program that United Way administers as a partner with the federal government called the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, which meets the needs of our neediest neighbors and friends. And that program was at risk of not existing anymore in the Lower Eastern Shore, and Pam and team took that on to really make sure that we're meeting those needs. So amazing work in the impact space. In the relevance space, we know that the United Way brand is our most valuable shared assets. But as I like to say, you know, a lot of people know the United Way, but not enough people love the United Way, right? And I'm sure you hear in your community, well, I'm not really sure what the United Way does. The work that we do is so relevant, and we need to make sure that our brand is relevant as well. And so we've been going through the process of rebranding. I see the 80 years of impact kind of looks like our new brand a little bit. I bet you got some assets there, yeah. But we're excited to launch that next week, and I'm excited that United Way of Lower Eastern Shore is one of our early adopters in helping us bring that to scale across the network. And I hope that you'll all see a difference as we start to tell the story of what United Way does and why it's important in new and different ways. And in the last area of sustainability, that really is about us making sure that we're here for another century, another 80 years here in the Lower Eastern Shore. And I love the United Way begins with you, because really the sustainability of this organization is all about all the people in the room. Again, we are stewards of this organization, but all of us, it belongs to the community. It belongs to the people that live in the communities that United Way serve. And so sustaining that is going to be about what all of you, each of us, do to carry it forward. And so really excited to have Kevin here today. I know that Pam and Kevin have been working with our team at United Way Worldwide to really think about what our next era looks like in engaging with our corporate partners, and really excited that you all are leading the way here. I know that your work here will continue for another 80 years, because I can tell that there's a great commitment here in the Lower Eastern Shore to carrying it forward. So thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to carry the work forward together, because United Way begins with you.
Thank you so much. That was great. All right. Really, really appreciate you being with us today and sharing that. Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to get really interactive now, this time with an activity about ALICE. If you're not familiar, ALICE stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. It's an acronym that we use to build awareness about our neighbors who are struggling every day to make ends meet, even though they're working. ALICE lives on the edge, and we're going to explore that a little bit this morning. So let's start off with a simple poll, and then I'm going to turn it over to our Community Impact Manager there in the back with a mic, Martin Hutchison, one of our superpowers on the team for sure, and he's going to lead us through the activity. We adapted this activity from a simulation done at a symposium that I participated in up in Carroll County Libraries, not quite a year ago. And I want to also thank our AmeriCorps member, Brianna. Where's Brianna? She did an amazing job helping to adapt this and make it our own. So what basic need matters most to you?
So this is an interesting result. Well, there it just leveled a little bit. Typically, housing is number 1, and food is number 2. But our friends from Tidal Health must have tipped it a little bit to healthcare.
You want to
Also,
can you scroll?
very, very important. Technology, I guess nobody needs it, but we all just used it. And transportation, I can't see, Ryan. Anyways, we're going to lead you through an experience in the next few minutes. You all have been sitting looking at envelopes on your table that say, please do not open until instructed. And now is the time to open them. There are inside of them 4 sets or 5 sets for the 2 tables that have 9 at them, so that everybody gets a packet. And in those packets, there are papers folded, so each one of those folded papers is a set. So just pass them around. Hold on to the blue cards. We'll use them in a little bit. So there should be a long piece of paper that's 11 by 14. That is your instructions, and that is the money that you have available to you, the options, the choices that you have available to you. Then you should have a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that is called On the Edge with Alice, Can You Survive the Month? For the next 15 minutes, here is your task. Down on the left-hand side where it says family size, you have been assigned a family. So you're either an adult, 2 adults, 2 children, ages 4 and 7, 2 adults, 1 senior. You see that where it is? Do you see who you are? Next to that is a number that says credits. That's the amount of money you have to live off of this month. No debt, no bank accounts, no credit cards. That's your money. To the right on that paper is an expenses column. And so using the longer piece of paper that has the key, you get to choose in each of those categories, housing, food, and so on, how you want to spend the money that has been allotted to you. If you're a basic, it's 1 credit. If you're in the middle row that's limited, it's 2 credits. If you're convenient, if you want to have a convenient life, it's the 3rd row, and it's 3 credits. And the only thing to keep in mind is that with childcare, if you have a child that is under 5, it costs you 2 credits per child. And if you have a child that's between 6 and 12, it costs you 1 credit, and you have no choice. You have to use those credits. And then in food, you have to use the number of credits per person in your family. So take a few minutes and fill out your budget. Decide how you're going to utilize the money that you have. You have pens in front of you. Are there any questions?
A few of us will be wandering around the room with a couple mics, so if you have a question, just grab us.
Lots of tough decisions. Yeah, don't open the envelope that says do not open, the little envelope. And some of you are already saying, but how? I only have 20 credits. I had 3 kids. So the question is, childcare is 2 credits per child under 5 and 1 credit for children 6 to 12. So it looks like you're doing a good job of figuring this out. And like it always does in life, it never is as planned. So there's another envelope that you had in your packet that you may open now, and it will help you. You have to incorporate the instructions in that envelope into your experience. I'm going to give you just another minute or two because our friends at Title Health didn't have the oops envelope. Oh, you don't? How did that happen? Oh, my goodness. I love you. That's life comes at you fast. So I think you get the idea, and you've experienced the challenge that 2 out of 5 of our local neighbors experience on a daily basis. Let's talk about it. We have people roving through the audience with microphones. What was your biggest hurdle or challenge in this experience? There's a poll. It'll be up on your screen in just a moment. So what was your biggest hurdle or choice or challenge in this exercise? You can participate in the poll, but let's also talk about it. What was the hardest decision that you had to make, either before the little envelope was opened or after?
Oh, even before I opened the envelope, I needed to start reducing what I originally planned. Everything: food, healthcare, housing.
So you had to change what you would have chosen even before the envelope. And the envelope did what? Made it harder? Made it impossible? Others?
You guys want to share anything?
Just raise your hand and our board gets it.
Well, you know I want to have a full-out poverty simulation, but that's okay. Or ALICE simulation, excuse me. But technology, I know it's not a basic need, but actually in order to get ahead and move forward, you really need technology. And so that's just one of the things that I always think about, because the basic is real basic. And again, to get to some of those other points, you have to have technology in this world.
Thank you. Anyone else want to share of their experience this morning? We'll let her in.
Not with 2 children needing technology, even if the schools provided tablets or something, not having internet, you needed to have internet in order for your kids to be able to participate in school. So, challenge.
I just feel that the most important aspect of this is taking care of your family. We all love our family, and the cost of housing, cost of insurance, cost of health care really dwindled our credits fast. And I think that
you know, that's an area that we all need to look at when we're planning for our families. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I was a single adult with 3 kids, so I had to take the most basic of everything, and then that one emergency would have just set us over and probably would have lost housing completely. You know, we would have had to get a zero somewhere, so couldn't balance it.
And the interesting thing is, we chose to leave taxes off. And so, you know, it's not, the budget that you had isn't the comprehensive budget that most of us have in real life.
And we had utilities basically folded into housing, but that's not normally the case.
So when you're in survival mode, working to just meet your basic needs, you don't have opportunities for education or workforce development to be able to pull yourself out of the situation. Additionally, you usually are on the lower end of the health insurance coverage, and so if you get sick, you don't get good care.
Pam, there's one right in front of you.
So I had 2 adults and 1 senior. I didn't even have any children, and there was no way I could make it tally up once the oops hit. There would have been more than 1 0 and more than 1 column.
Mm-hmm. And oops is a part of life. You know, life comes at us fast. Sometimes one oops after another oops after another oops, and then you have to make decisions about how you're going to eat, other decisions. It's tough. We wanted you to watch 2 short videos, and then we have a partner story we'd like to share.
I am Alice. I'm a divorced mom of 2 boys, ages 10 and 7. They live with me full time. Due to the birth of our second child, daycare costs exceeded what my salary was, so I quit my job to become a stay-at-home mom. When the divorce occurred, that created an extreme hardship. I had to start putting a lot of bills on credit cards. It wasn't a path I wanted to go down, but I had no choice. So even though I have this full-time career, it's still a struggle. It's still hard to make ends meet. You can't keep a family of 3 afloat on my salary alone. If we don't discuss this and we don't talk about it and we don't raise the awareness, it's never going to change.
I was Alice. My mother was Alice. We grew up in low-income housing. I don't think I even realized that until I was much older and had a more discerning interpretation of my upbringing and the struggles that my mom went through, from food and electric bills or travel or whatever the expense may have been. She had to make hard decisions. And I think one of the misperceptions about families that are financially insecure is that they're just not trying hard enough. In actuality, my mom worked as hard as she could to make it okay. And that's what Alice is trying to help redefine.
What I believe that Alice does, it gives us a way to humanize who Alice is and gives us real verifiable proof that everybody is having a very similar experience with an economy that unfortunately is not working for everybody.
The goal for Alice is to make sure that all of our policies take a realistic approach to what it costs to live in various communities across the United States. There is not a one-size-fits-all approach.
All of us have people who are Alice in our lives, but what's important is that we can use our voices to help make a difference for them, to help policymakers and leaders understand that we don't have to make these decisions. We can make different decisions that can help these individuals meet their basic needs so that they can have healthy, happy, productive lives.
The goal for the United Way Network is to create a world where every person in every community can thrive. And really the goals of Alice are to shine a bright spotlight on that and then to create action behind making change for working families in communities across the country.
This needs to change. The federal poverty level's definition of what poverty is needs to change. And the only way it's going to change is if people change it.
The United for Alice website has an incredible amount of resources to help you learn about not only what the trends are nationally, but also what things look like in your own local community. Knowledge is power and can help you decide how you want to engage in your community to help Alice families.
And there on the screen, you can see the statistics of our 4-county impact area. 50% of our neighbors in Dorchester County live below the Alice threshold. 54% in Somerset County, 38% in Wicomico County, and 38% in Worcester County. We all know Alice. We may be Alice. We may have been Alice. We may yet be Alice. And one of the things that is the high honor of the job that I have at United Way as the Community Impact Manager is I get the privilege to work with 38 partner agencies who are on the front lines helping Alice, not with a handout, but with a hand up. And so here today, we have a number of partner agencies with us, and we'll talk to them here in a minute, but Marshall Shord, who is from Shore Legal Access, is going to share a real story of one of our neighbors and the way Shore Legal has been able to help this Alice neighbor. Marshall?
Thank you, Martin. Good morning, everyone. Just for, if you don't know, Shore Legal Access provides free legal assistance for people who otherwise would not be able to afford an attorney for civil legal issues that can affect the financial and housing well-being and stability of our clients. For some national context, almost 75% of low-income households face at least one civil legal issue in a given year, and 93% of those households do not receive adequate legal assistance to resolve their issue. We at Shore Legal Access are here on the Eastern Shore to close that justice gap. Before I get into the story really quickly, I just want to say top of mind for us is confidentiality for our clients. This has been an anonymized story. All details that could, identify this person have been removed. They've also consented to have this story told, and what I'm most excited about is that they also collaborated with me to make sure that their experience was adequately presented. This is a legal issue, so it's facts heavy, but I'm going to share it with you, and I hope it gives you a good picture of the impact Shore Legal Access has helping the Alice population on the Eastern Shore. So we had a tenant who moved into a house a few years ago with a malfunctioning heating system. The tenant immediately notified the landlord of the issue, but the landlord did nothing to fix it. To pay the increasingly higher energy bills, the tenant was forced to apply for energy assistance, and what was not covered by assistance, they had to put on credit cards, which caused not just financial strain on the household, but a lot of emotional strain, the client told me. After several years, under constant threat from the landlord that they would be evicted, the tenant and their household experienced, the landlord did finally agree to replace the heating system through a state program which required the landlord to agree not to evict the tenant for 2 years. However, shortly after the new heating system was installed, the landlord did notify the client that they and their household needed to vacate the property. When the tenant did not move out, the landlord filed what's called a tenant holding over complaint with the district court, which essentially means the client, their household stayed beyond the term of their lease. At this point, the tenant contacted Shore Legal Access, particularly our housing attorneys, B.B. Barnes and Pete Rolfe. They're in district court every day, essentially, representing tenants in rent court. Because of the contract the landlord had signed, our attorneys were able to finesse him into agreeing to mediation, which moved it out of the legal system and kind of changed the terms of the interaction. This resulted in a settlement where the landlord agreed to a stipulated dismissal, financial incentives for an early move out, and a favorable reference, which is incredibly important for people who are renting in this tight housing market. So because of our assistance, the tenant maintained a clean housing record, which is also extremely important. It's probably one of the most important things for renters to have. And they secured additional time to find new housing. I don't know if you're familiar with how things are in this area. Housing is really hard to find, particularly on the lower end of things. The tenant said that the experience had really taken its toll on their family. But with our attorney's assistance, they were able to get some justice, which they would not have been able to do alone. So, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Marshall, for sharing this story. Thank you, Shore Legal Access, for the work that you do in our communities all across the Eastern Shore. And I know we have already done it today, but I'd like to have all of our partner agencies, United Way partner agencies, stand again. And then I'm going to ask you a question, all of you. If you work for a partner agency, please stand. These are the people who are on the front lines, making a difference in our community, working with our neighbors who have needs. Now, I have another question for you who are standing. By raising your hand, indicate how many of you work with Alice in your day-to-day work. Yeah. And my guess is the ones of you who don't have your hands up don't know it, but you do. Because 2 out of 5 of our neighbors are Alice here on the Lower Shore. Thank you. Thank you for the work that you do in our communities. That makes a difference. Now, to conclude our time together in this experience, I want to call you to action. You have a blue card in front of you. It was in your packet. This brief experience this morning lasted about 30 minutes for us. But for 2 out of 5 households here locally, the experience isn't brief. And they do not have the ability, like we do, to go back to a different life in a few minutes. This experience and the challenges that we had in utilizing the funds that were allotted to us is life for Alice. It involves making tough decisions on a daily basis just to survive. We hope the experience and the insights that you might have gained from this brief time will lead you to action to help Alice in our community. One such action could be becoming a regular donor at United Way. And if you'd like to take that action this morning, we're asking you to consider $10 a month to help our neighbors who are Alice. The QR code, there's a variety of other ways that you can take that action today. And I know this as a pastor who works in the community and calls people to action on the regular. If you don't take action now and you say, oh, I'll do it later, you won't do it. So I'm just going to leave that as a challenge for you. Thank you.
Martin, great job. Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate your willingness to work through that exercise with us, and I hope, yeah, it's a simulation situation, but it is unfortunately very real life. So yeah, we all do know Alice. Some of us, as Martin said, are Alice, have been, maybe will be again. We're seeing a lot of seniors also, certainly as they age and hopefully are able to age in place, but as they age are also becoming Alice, and that's pretty scary. So as you can see from the stats that we shared on the screen, Alice really is in nearly every single neighborhood, workplace, and classroom, especially here on the Lower Shore. And why does this even matter so much? Our friends, mentioned several different examples. When individuals and families are struggling to make ends meet every single day, that can be really overwhelming. And as you heard, if we're not able to get out of crisis mode, that's not going to get us anywhere. If we're not getting enough healthy food to eat, our brains actually will not work correctly. If we're not getting enough sleep, if we're worried about keeping a roof over our head, the lights on, or how to afford childcare, we're in a cycle of stress that's just hard to see what potential solutions might even be, and where sometimes to even turn from help. So all of these and more are also called social determinants of health and directly impact how we feel, we act, and our ability to respond and see beyond and get through a crisis. And this is Alice living on the edge and unable to regain their balance. And so this is where we all come in. We have the call to action, and that's awesome. But the more that we understand the challenges Alice households face, the better we can respond and help create long-term solutions. So here's how United Way also begins with you, with each of us. As employers, the Alice data helps us understand our workforce, our customers, and the community we're serving. Employers can explore innovative solutions. There's a really great resource on the United for Alice website called Alice at Work, which offers some practical tips, plus offering ways for employees to give and get engaged also makes a real impact. More and more employees want to work for, and customers want to support companies who are community-minded. Government and community leaders can use the Alice data and online legislative tool to understand the districts they serve and see the disparities across different populations and neighborhoods, and consider how infrastructure, policies, and social services may be adapted. Many Alice families fall into a benefits cliff. That means that they earn just a little too much to qualify for assistance, which would help move them from that edge. Public-private partnerships can really offer help here too. Educators can explore more about the families they serve. A new focus report on children in Alice families was just released literally 2 weeks ago with some comprehensive insights for Maryland. This data can help shape new programs and services, support advocacy for funding models, and be a great tool even for teachers' grants. And many nonprofits, I'm pretty sure most all of our partners in the room today already use this data for grants. I know we use it when we request grants, helping to quantify and explain the important needs that they're addressing and identify where focus may need to shift. And here's something too that was just released last month. A new report on Alice in the nonprofit workforce also explores how many nonprofits, ours included, have Alice on staff, working to help other Alice families while they're also struggling too. And this is difficult to navigate. Volunteers and donors can also learn more about Alice's challenges in our community and consider additional ways to support, using your voice, your expertise, your talents, and treasures to get involved. So if you're interested in learning more about Alice data, how to use it, or would like to facilitate a discussion or an exercise like today, or a presentation for your group, please contact Martin or me, and we would love to make that happen. All right, so you get the point, right? Alice lives on the edge. So let's do something about it. I'm thrilled to announce a new and exciting fundraising event. In partnership with the Ross and my friends from Caroline and the city of Salisbury. And I want to thank Nick and his team at the Ross and Caroline for their support and the rest of the city staff for being all in on this. Think of a family-friendly block party. We'll bring community partners out with fun activities, food trucks, music, things for the kids to do, have a great time raising awareness and funds for Alice. In fact, this is really where United Way begins with you. Check this out.
Here we go.
Really didn't feel very scared. They're highly trained professionals.
I'm ready to go over the edge.
So what do you think? Guess what? We're going over the edge at the Ross. That doesn't sound very enthusiastic. So you either think I'm nutso, or you don't know what to think yet, and that's okay. That's okay. So we're really excited. We're going to go right down the side of the Ross. Mark your calendars for May 2nd, and if you want to rappel down the Ross, like I know maybe the Hearst family does, you can. Individuals or teams simply raise $1,080, the $80 for our 80th anniversary, of course, and you or someone from your team can rappel very, very safely down all 14 stories of the Ross. Plus, our agency partners can have a team to directly benefit their agencies too. It's going to be a great day and lots of fun, and seriously, we have incredible safety partners with the Over the Edge team, and most anybody can really do it. No experience is required, and there is easy training on site, so you'll be learning a lot more. So what do you think our goal is? I can't hear you. Stace. So here's my challenge. Let's meet 80,000, and I'm going to go over the edge. I'm doing it. Let's do it. Help me get there. So some of you in the room might remember just 2 years ago, I was hobbling on this stage trying not to fall down with my cane because I got 2 new hips that year. Just almost 2 years old. One's 2 years old. The other one will be in December. So I'm ready to go. I'm not asking my orthopedic for permission. This is one of those forgiveness, not permission situations. But seriously, Over the Edge has some amazing safety protocols. They make it accessible for folks, and I'm ready to go. So I hope you will help me make this happen. Stay tuned for more information. I'm thrilled to share that we're close to closing in on the first $20,000 of our goal, thanks to support from Purdue, and thanks to support from Tidal Health and several other donors. Kevin, you in? Nice. You can't be on Brian's team, though. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Here's one other fun little thing for us. I've got a couple other really quick reminders, and then we're going to check this out and get outside for a picture. Don't miss the great information in your folders. There's still 2 weeks left of our Women United's 30 Days of Impact. So for just $130 tickets, daily prizes are given. Our annual holiday ball is somehow going to be here before we know it, and tickets and sponsorships are going fast. That's in your folder too. We've added some really special touches this year, and we will be taking over the Cambridge Hyatt in style this year, and would love to have you with us. And don't forget, companies of any size, 1 to 100 to 1,000 to 10,000, can engage your employees through giving and volunteering or getting involved with our affinity groups. It's easy to make a collective impact and have fun doing it. Just ask us, watch our socials and highlights of campaigns that are already doing it. The moms are from Wright's Market and are meant to be shared. So whoever at your table has a birthday closest to today gets to take that with you. You can keep it for yourself or pass it along. And don't forget, if you did take some photos or pictures today, please share those with us. If you would like to help us by recording a little United Way Begins With You snippet, do it and send it to us. Check this out, and then let's meet by the big sign outside.
United Way begins with you.
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 With you. With you. With you. With you. You. United Way begins with you.
Thank you all so very much. Appreciate everything you do. Let's go get a cool picture. Have a wonderful rest of your day.